I was born in '96, not really the best conditions. My mom was 16 when she had me, and my father wasn't very present. But I kind of grew up in poverty, and just wasn't really always around anyone who had a faith foundation laid in their life. I looked into Buddhism, I looked into kind of like some Hinduism, and I looked into all like Islam and Judaism and Christianity especially. I got invited to a Bible study at a gentleman who hosted it, who went to a church that I was near, and basically at the end of the Bible study, he did an altar call, and that's when I said my prayer. I accepted Jesus into my life. I didn't even know the full gravity of what that really meant. I started going to church, and I was like the only one in my family going to church, and it was kind of weird, and it was very difficult. And when I got to high school, I was the only one in high school who seemingly went to church, or like knew God, or was trying to get to know God at least. And so just going into that kind of environment, public school, no sort of fellowship at home, and never really being around other Christians, it was really easy for me to become backslidden. There's always nagging in the back of my heart, like, this isn't really what I'm supposed to be doing. And I specifically remember a prayer in my life where I was in my parents' basement, and I was just like, I give it all to you, God. I know this isn't really the way or the path that I'm supposed to be going on right now, but I want you to really just take control. I got invited to move into a home with one of my buddies from high school, and we were renting it, but this home was really close to my godmother, who had been going to church and had been consistently inviting me, and she was always kind of far off, but with this move I was a lot closer to her, and so I was like, hey, I'll go to church. And so I started going to church just to really hang out with my Nina, not necessarily to go to church or get deeper with God. But it ended up being just an amazing blessing. During that time, I had always wanted to join the military, but I was a little chunky coming out of high school, but God was working in my life, and I was getting healthier, and so I finally was like at the time in my life where I could join the military. So I joined the Air Force, and when I got back from basic, that's where I ended up meeting my wife. Or I had known my wife before I actually went to basic, but that's when we actually started dating, when I got back. We ended up coming to Victory October in 2018, and honestly, we haven't gone to another church since. We really just made this place our home, and it's kind of weird because my previous church experience, I never really tithed. I guess it didn't really feel like a mandate for me. But the very first time I even came to Victory, I just started tithing. I started reading my book my Bible with the intention to know Jesus more. I started wanting to go to church with the intent of not to just get fed myself, but also to help other people be fed. Kristen started singing, and Jonathan and Kim, they invited us to their small group, and it was cool. We had a community of people around us, and once again, more fellowship that just helped me dive deeper into my faith walk with Jesus. And like I said, I didn't really tithe previously, but I'd started consistently tithing at Victory, even started diving into the Accelerate program. And then when all that happened, Chris and I, we went a small business on the side, and things just started exploding. And our jobs, everything was going really well, and life was like, it was so cool. There was so much peace around everything. And then kind of out of the blue, we got sideswiped a little bit there, but at the beginning of this year, 2021, we both lost our jobs. And it was just like, it was really interesting because it was kind of just like an afterthought. It wasn't really a big event in our lives, and that's just been one of the awesome blessings, is because I think God has really placed a heart of peace in both my wife and my heart. And because of that, Even something like losing our jobs, there wasn't any panic there. There was peace, there was calm, and there was just, we knew our source. We knew that we were in good hands. We were in the best hands. My life previously, I wouldn't have had the peace in it that I had before knowing Jesus, as opposed to after knowing Him and knowing just really the way He provides, the way He protects, and the way that He's really orchestrated our lives. It's just awesome because Pastor Matt's been talking about this, and it's like, wow, you chose me to actually break some generational chains. There's no record of any marriage in my family. We're all born out of wedlock, and it's crazy. And my wife and I were the first ones to be married, and I'm the first one to graduate high school. I'm the first one to actually join the military, first one to actually go to church. And it's just, there's all these generational curses that are being broken, that are being lifted. And it's crazy to think that God chose me for whatever reason. And so I don't feel like I have any right to deny what God has called us, my wife and I, to do. And so because of that, just stepping into that blessing, stepping into who He is, it's really, there's excitement in my life to see where God's going to take us. There's peace in my life to know that God's handled everything, and He's written the plan and orchestrated everything for our good. And then we're just excited. I'm hopeful, I'm joyful, and all that because of what God has planned for my life.